Hi, Shalom, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Baha Rakakwadash. Double honor to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who teach and rule well. And peace and salutations to the hopeful elect pushing this gospel amongst the four winds with truth and sincerity. Right, to you I say Shalom. This is your brother Parathon. Just continuing from the last lesson. Right. I believe I closed out with Matthew 6, so I'll just hit that again in the NLT. It's Matthew 6 and 19. Don't store up treasures here on earth where moths eat them and rust destroys them, and where thieves break in and steal. Store your treasures in heaven where moth and rust cannot destroy and thieves do not break in and steal. Where your treasure is, there the desires of your heart will also be. Right? So we are not to worry about what we gonna eat today, if we got something to put on, right? Because I believe I brought out Luke 12, and we can just revisit it to bring everything full circle, because this is a part 2 of the last lesson. I'm gonna just breeze through it. Luke 12 and 21. NLT. Yes, a person is a fool to store up earthly wealth, but not have a rich relationship with Yahweh. And we just read in Matthew 6, right? Set not your treasures on earth where moth and rust doeth corrupt, but set them in heaven, man. Because our desires, the things, the incorruptible things we put our faith in are above. And they can't compare. The things here can't compare with the things we're going to get. Just like the suffering of this present time can't be compared to the exceeding glory. You know what I mean? Roughly paraphrases. That's going to be revealed in Yahweh Shai and in us if we endure unto the end, Lord willing. Right? So that was the point there. Let's go to I didn't grab Micah last time. Let me just hit this Micah. It's Micah 2:10. It says, arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest, because it is polluted. It shall destroy you, even with a sword destruction. Let's get some words for edification. Polluted, to be unclean, become unclean, impure. The point, to be unclean sexually, religiously, ceremonially, right? Idolatry, to be defiled, to profane the Lord's name, right? So we are unclean in every possible way, as long as we in this flesh. Mainly, sexually, religiously, and ceremonially are all intertwined spiritually, man, because we committed spiritual adultery with against the Lord with these other heathen nations, taking on their customs, their philosophies, their religions, their beliefs, their ways of life. So that's ceremonial, right? Religious and sexual. We are spiritually defiled. Our righteousness is as filthy rags, man. But the Lord didn't forsake us. All right, let's go back. That's polluted. It would destroy you with a sword destruction. Sword, to be or made sick, to be grievous or painful. Right? To irritate, to be forcible, grievous. That word destruction. Cord, rope, territory, band, company. Pain, sorrow, travail. Yeah, this is pretty much self-explanatory here. So it's going to destroy us with a sword destruction, right? Through what? These vices that we have. Vices of the flesh, whether it's money, women, your job, the bottle, drugs. These are all vices, right? Given to us for our destruction. Tools, But on that other coin, on the other side of that coin, right, we're given tools to build us up, help us become worthy for salvation. Hey, the Lord said, "This day I choose you. I have placed before you life and death." Right? You choose. I might have butchered that. Let me see. I believe it's in Sirach. There's one in Deuteronomy too. It's Deuteronomy. Let's say right here, Deuteronomy 30 and 15. See, I have set before thee this day life and good and death and evil. Right? It's verse 19. I call heaven and earth to record this day against you, that I have set before you life and death, blessing and cursing. Therefore, choose life, that both thou and thy seed may live. We have a choice. As far as free will, the only things we doing is making decisions, because the destination doesn't change. Whatever the Lord designed for us, we're going to get there. It's just going to look different based off of what decisions we make. We may make a more right and more wise decision that may get us to that destination quicker. Or, depending on, there's so many different variables and external forces, you may need patience. So it might take a little longer on that road, but you're learning patience. You use wisdom making a decision, and you're learning patience in that process, man. So there's so many different variables, but at the end of the day, we're told we have the choice, right? We just don't know who's righteous and wicked. The righteous is always going to be righteous. The wicked are always going to be wicked. It's not going to appear like that, because we know the definitions of good and bad and beautiful and righteous it's all misconstrued here in this broken language, right? So that was it there. Oh, that's beautiful. There it is. It's Sirach 15 and 17. Before a man is life and death, and whether him liketh, and whether he choose, basically whatever he chooses shall be given him. Sirach 15 and 17. You have a choice. This is Sirach 15, 17, and the good news. You have a choice between life and death. You will get whichever you choose. That's hard. The Lord ain't playing, man. So it's not like we don't have a decision. Depending on our decision we make, the Lord is going to deal with us accordingly. He knows who are his and who's not. And we can get into that. Let me see. Let's get John from there. Let's get John. John 18 and 16. Salakia. John 18 and 36. Yeah, John 18 and 36. NLT 35. I am a Jew. Am I a Jew? Pilate retorted. Your own people and their leading priests brought you to me for trial. Why? What have you done? Yahushua answered, my kingdom is not an earthly kingdom. If it were, my followers would fight to keep me from being handed over to the Jewish leaders. But my kingdom is not of this world. Pilate said, so you are a king? Yahushua responded, you say I'm a king. Actually, I was born and came into the world to testify the truth. All who love the truth recognize that what I say is truth. What is truth? Pilate asked. Then he went out again to the people and told them he is not guilty of any crime. And that's pretty much the point, right? Hold on. My kingdom is not of this world. Yeah. So that kingdom, the kingdom of heaven, that's our home. That's our continuing city to tie everything together. Where's the one? And I guess I was looking for the one. My servants will fight. Salakia. And I had it. I just read it in the wrong. It's in the KJV. Salakia. John 18:36 again in the KJV. Yahushua answered, my kingdom is not of this world. If my kingdom were of this world, then my servants would fight, that I should not be delivered to the Jews. But now is my kingdom not from thence. So if this was Yahushua's kingdom, his servants, those who had that mindset of pilgrims, right? Those who have not made this place their rest. Those are the ones. Those are the ones that know. Pilate was playing with him. Pilate really didn't want no smoke. But he was scared of the people. Right? As Saul was in his time. At the account when he was supposed to destroy the city, everything in the city, right? Be allowed his soldiers to do what they want and take shit. The Lord stripped that kingship from him. All right, let's get back on topic though. This is let me see. No, we bounced all around. Hebrews 11:8. We hit that. Yeah, let's hit that 2 Peter. 2 Peter 3:13. Nevertheless, we, according to his promise, look for new heavens and a new earth, wherein dwelleth righteousness. Wherefore, beloved, seeing that ye look for such things, be diligent that ye may be found of him in peace, without spot and blameless. Right? So, nevertheless, we, according to his promise, look for new heavens and new earth. What was the promise? The kingdom and everything that comes with it. Those same promises made. We are offsprings of Abraham. The same promises he gave Abraham trickled down to us. As it said in Hebrews. Because it said that Isaac and Jacob dwell with him. Those both pertaining. So like where is it at? Hebrews 11:9. Back in Hebrews 11:9, by faith he sojourned in the land of promise, as in a strange country, dwelling in tabernacles with Isaac and Jacob, the heirs with him of that same promise. So do we not come from Abraham, Salakia, Isaac and Jacob? That same promise pertains to us too, man. Lord willing, we be accounted to that number. But that's the same promise that Paul was talking about. Salakia, Peter says, nevertheless, we, according to his promise, look for new heavens and a new earth wherein dwelleth righteousness. And that word sojourn, I believe, goes into the dwell. What does it say? To dwell as a stranger. Dwell beside one or in another's neighborhood, to live near, to be or dwell in a place as a stranger, to sojourn in the New Testament. Damn, I can't get my words right. Strong's, to dwell near, reside as a foreigner. That's what we're doing in Babylon. This is our land, right? But this is the earth is given into the hands of the wicked, right? So it's more so like we are being held captives in our own land, man. Right? How can you be comfortable in prison? It just don't make sense. You know, it's crazy that, you know, the jails now are filled with majority of Jake. But they got TVs and Wi-Fi and shit in them Jones, man. They living luxurious, man. They're making it seem like they're marketing it like it's a place to go. So that shit joined. We can jump to 2 Corinthians for real. 2 Corinthians 4 and 18. While we look not at the things which are seen, but at the things which are not seen. For the things which are seen are temporal, but the things which are not seen are eternal. And what things are not seen, man? And this to this point, it was the kingdom, right? Eternal rest, salvation. You can't see that. We picture it in our minds when reading the scriptures, right? We don't pay attention to the things that we can see, hear, feel, smell, touch, etc. But our minds are on spiritual things, man. Verse 17, let's jump up. Salakia, verse 16. It says, for which cause we faint not, but though our outward man perish, for which cause we faint not, but though our outward man perish, yet the inward man is renewed day by day. For our light affliction is but for a moment, worketh for us a far more exceeding and eternal weight of glory. While we look not on the things which are seen, but at the things which are not seen. For the things which are seen are temporal, but the things which are not seen are eternal. Right? The things which are not seen are the things will be the last thing that we actually see. Because it's going to be forever. Forever going into an uninterrupted end. Right? A time uninterrupted. It's just a loop. We're going to be operating outside of time at that point, Lord willing, we are that number. Let me see. Let's jump. Hebrews 11 and verse 10. For he looked for a city which hath foundations, whose builder and maker is Yahweh. And Matthew 7. Verse 11, through faith also Sarah herself received strength to conceive seed and was delivered of a child when she was past age, because she judged him faithful who had promised. Therefore sprang there even of one, and him as good as dead, so many as the stars of the sky in multitude, and as the sand which is by the sea shore innumerable. And so a whole nation came from this one man who was as good as dead. Why? Because he was so old, right? But still young in spirit. A nation with so many people like that, like the stars in the sky and the sand on the seashore, there is no way to count them. All these people died still believing what Yahweh had promised them. They did not receive what was promised, but they saw it all from a distance and welcomed it. So our ancestors died believing on this continuing city and haven't seen it. These things are written aforetime for our learning, but that's faith, man. It says that these all died in faith, not having received the promises, but having seen them afar off. That's the vision, right? Perspective. And were persuaded of them. Right? We have to convince ourselves of this thing, not because we were the man we learned from, or because something says something. We have to be convinced in our own mind. And the Lord does that. And embrace them and confess that they were strangers and pilgrims on the earth. Now, why did they confess that they were strangers and pilgrims? Again, because we have no continuing city. And they knew that. They knew that the only rest we were going to get, the only sense of peace we were going to get is the kingdom. So they accepted the fact that they were strangers and pilgrims on the earth until the Lord comes back, man. 14. For they that say such things declare plainly that they seek a country. And truly, if they had been mindful of the country from whence they came out, they might have opportunity to have returned. But now they desire a better country that is in heavenly, wherefore Yahweh is not ashamed to be called their power, for he had prepared for them a city. Come on, man. In my father's house are many mansions. I'm going to grab that. Hold on. Go into this word better. More useful, more serviceable, more advantageous, more excellent, nobler, stronger, right? Dig a little deeper. Advantageous. Involving or creating favorable circumstances that increase the chances of success or effectiveness, right? Beneficial. So that's kingdom-like, man. That's a king mindset for a better country, a better place. This is all mental and spiritual, man. And once the mind convinced, the body is even more convinced. Right? The body is either going to be a slave to the flesh or to the spirit. We determine that. That Lord willing, this lesson was edifying. Salakia. Now let's grab John 14:2. In my father's house are many mansions, more than enough room in my father's home. It says, if it were not so, I would have told you, I go to prepare a place for you. And if I go to prepare a place for you, I will come again and receive you unto myself, that where I am, there will ye be also. And whither I go, ye know, and the way ye know. Right? So that's the point. The many mansions are going into the kingdom, the galaxies, these different planets that we're going to inherit. Lord willing, we be accounted of that number. So even just having the tiniest understanding of what's to come, it'll blow your mind, you know? It'll give you enough on your plate to make the best of the 24 hours given here. You know, just trying to stay locked in the spirit and balancing everything out. Right? Hey, so with that, Lord willing, this lesson was edifying. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Baha Rachak Wadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders, a great millstone of peace and salutation to the hopeful elect. Kwam Yasharala and the Bible.